As I said to you, the vast majority of agents don't stay connected with people they sold houses to. And they constantly get up and are looking for those new clients, constantly searching and rooting around for new business. But it's so much easier when your past business recommends you. For that to happen, you got to stay in touch with people, and it's really about servicing them after the sale. What little things can you do that would make a big difference? Staying connected, they are going to be constantly reminded. If they know of somebody who's thinking of buying or selling, they're going to recommend you. Another strategy I would recommend is taking pictures when the final paperwork is getting sold. We've all seen that picture of the client that's standing in front of the sold sign pointing at their house. But what I want you to do as a salesperson is proudly display that on your social media sites and on your website. What does it say to people that are kind of trolling the internet, looking at real estate? This guy's successful. This guy's got happy clients, and they want to be happy just like the people in the picture. That's really the point of putting those pictures up. The other thing that happens is that people who recognize the people in the picture will then see that they've used you as their real estate salesperson, which adds to the conversation. Now, I'd recommend on moving day, most agents avoid the house altogether. Not me. What I've always done is on moving day, when my clients were moving into a house, I'd stop by with refreshments. I know it's hectic. Everybody's in jeans and t-shirts and lugging boxes around. So I'd stop by with a couple of really large pizzas and a Coleman cooler full of sodas and water, and sometimes on the rare occasion, maybe even a cold beer. But I would stay with them, have a slice of pizza, see how the moving is going, but I wouldn't stay for 2 slices. And the difference is the pro stays for 1, the amateur stays for 2, because if you stay for 2 slices, next thing they're going to have you moving furniture and you'll be there all day. So you want to drop in, you want to see how the move's going, you want to be excited for them, excited for their new house. Take a minute to just sort of acknowledge it, have a slice of pizza, a cold soda, and then you bounce on to whatever the rest of the day's got in store. But they'll think it's absolutely wonderful and very thoughtful for you to drop in. The other thing you could do, if you have a chance, if you ever have access to a property that's vacant before your clients move in, I might hire a professional cleaner to come in. You know, everybody wants to clean the house before they get there. They want to wipe all the cupboards down and clean the fridge and all that stuff. Wouldn't it be fabulous on moving day if they arrived and there was a note on the counter that you've had the house professionally cleaned as another little attribute of making the move so much smooth? Closets, floors, vacuumed, washed, all that stuff. And even some cold water, bottled water in a clean fridge. Oh my gosh, they'd think the sun set and rose in you. So those are the little things. When I talk about going that extra mile, it doesn't cost a lot. Just it's got to be thoughtful, really, is what we're talking about. I'd also say to them when I was there on the day they were moving in, oh, by the way, I've hired a handyman for you. A handyman? Yes. He'll be by in a few days. He's here to pick up any recycling or anything you have to go to the dump. So just take all of your moving supplies that you want to get rid of and throw them in the garage. His name's Steve. You'll absolutely like him. You may even find you want to use him for small, odd jobs around the house. But in the meantime, that's just my way of making this move a little bit easier. Again, doesn't cost a lot, but it's those little things that they weren't expecting. They're like, oh my gosh. I would ask them for a list of their 25 or 50 closest friends. And I would take a photo with them standing in front of their new house, like I told you, to post on social media with their sold sign saying, hey, look at us, we bought this new house, how wonderful. But what I would do with that is I would ask them if, with their permission, I would like to notify all of their friends of your address change. So I would do up really nice postcards with a picture of the house saying, hey, we've moved, you know, this is our new address, change your address in Outlook or whatever system you're using, and I would physically mail it. Now, I'll tell you why I want to do that instead of digital. Because nobody can throw out a picture of somebody's new house. That's going to stay on the kitchen counter or on top of the microwave for weeks. And because it's hanging around the house, you can bet on whoever you sent it to is going to be talking about a new house. You're planting seeds. So this is an example when we send paper, not digital. Because like I said, it's sacrilegious to throw a picture of your friends and their new house in the garbage. Eventually they'll get around to it, but it's going to hang around the kitchen. The other thing I would do is I would offer to host a housewarming party, maybe 2 or 3 weeks after they've moved in. Now think of it this way. You just sent their 25 closest friends a postcard picture of their new house with an address change. Now you're going to pick up the phone and you're going to say, hey, this is Chris from Leader Realty. I understand you're very good friends with Steve and Sally. I was the real estate salesperson that helped them find their new property, and they are so excited about it. The reason for my call is they asked me to invite you to a housewarming party I'm going to be hosting for them. We're going to be having it two Saturdays from now. It's going to be from 3 o'clock in the afternoon to 6 o'clock. We're having it hosted by Giovanni's. It's going to be a soiree, a real shindig, and they're so proud of their house. Can I put you down as an RSVP that you're going to definitely be coming? Now, a couple of things happen here. First of all, you sent the postcard. That's different than most real estate agents. Secondly, the seller is so excited you're going to actually be paying and hosting a housewarming party for their friends. Fabulous. And now you've reached out and called the friends. So we've had another conversation with people, and they're, again, I'm not asking them to sell their house. They're like, oh my God, the real estate agent's hosting a party and he sent this card. So when they come to the housewarming party, Sally's going to take me by the hand and she's going to say, I want to introduce you to my friends. And she's going to take you around and she's going to say, this is my real estate salesperson. He's the one that is hosting the soiree today. He's putting on the housewarming party. And they're going to be like, oh my gosh, so you're the guy. Yes, I called you. I spoke to you on the phone. I was the fellow who sent you the postcard. A picture of their house? Yes, I know. It's so beautiful. Oh, they're so proud of it. But here's the interesting thing. They're going to say to you, you're hosting the housewarming party. And in that same conversation, they're going to say, well, our real estate agent didn't do anything like this. And that's where Sally pipes up and says, well, you should have used Chris because he's just the best. I'll bet you before you leave that housewarming party, out of those 25 couples, those 50 people that are there, 1 or 2 people in that room are going to say, could you give me a call next week? We would really like to talk to you about selling our house. We've got a neighborhood in mind we would like to consider. So this is a great marketing tool. It's a great way of reinforcing the relationship. It's a great way. Now, when you're talking to all these people, you're going to say, oh, which neighborhood are you in? Oh, that's right. I saw you on the mailing list. I've always liked that neighborhood. Oh, really? Listen, I don't know if you'd be interested, but could I keep you up to date with a market report? Now you're actually added 25 people to your marketing list. And the fact that they're at their friend's house eating the food you paid for, they're not going to say no to your marketing. They're not going to say, no, I don't want any marketing report. Don't call me. Don't bother me. That would be just weird. They're going to be pleasant. Even Cranky Carl's pleasant when somebody else is paying for the party. So from that perspective, everybody's going to end up on the list. Now, 1 month after they've moved in, what I want you to do is stop by with a laminated list of local contractors that you really feel that are quality. They deliver great quality. It's an electrical contractor, it's a plumber, it's landscaping, it's what a local Italian restaurant that you absolutely love, your favorite pizzeria, where to get your dry cleaning done, best shoemaker, all of that stuff. Now, there's a couple of other points here. I want to drop off a laminated list of sort of Chris's list of approved local contractors that you can count on. Most homeowners, when they move in, are looking for somebody, a heating and air conditioning person, because they're having a problem with the furnace, or they're having a problem with the air conditioner, or somebody for the pool, whatever it is. Now, my first thing is, yes, put the great list of locals together so that they can refer to it. And if it's laminated, they always put it in that junk drawer, the one in the kitchen that everybody puts all that stuff in. But they keep pulling out your list every time they got to call a supplier because you can guarantee the quality of the work. So that brings me to the next point. Don't put anybody on that list unless you can guarantee the quality of the work, not the price, the quality. I'd rather have somebody say, I didn't hire your electrician. He was way too expensive. I went with, the cheap guy, wasn't happy with him. Maybe I should have went with the person you recommended. So I'm never about cheap. I'm always about quality. So that's really important. Now, another piece of this exercise. I don't want you to just arbitrarily put people's name on that list. I want you to reach out to the contractors and I want you to say, hey, this is Chris, the local real estate agent. I would like to recommend your business to people that I'm working with. Would you be okay if I sent you referrals? Now, the reason I'm doing that, and I might even showcase them on my social media sites. I might look to develop a closer relationship. I might try to do some cross marketing, and that's all in one of the other sessions that are coming up. So stay tuned. We got a lot of really great stuff for you. But here's the thing about this. All of those contractors that you're recommending should feel a responsibility to start recommending business back to you. So don't just make the recommendation, make the relationship. With everybody, make a relationship. And if you do, you're going to have electrical contractors and the heating and air conditioning guy and a plumber out there. You'll have the landscaping people, the pool people. Everybody's going to be talking about you because why? You're talking about them. Quarterly pop-by gifts. I would recommend that you put something on your calendar. We've been doing these from the beginning of time in real estate. We also call them cheaper keepers. You know, the first quarter, January, always putting out calendars. Later on in the year, maybe it's a fancy bottle opener or a fridge magnet. We've been doing that stuff for years. The point is, here, I'm stopping by to say hello. Oh, have one of these. And while I'm here, do you know anybody who's thinking about buying or selling? And you have a relationship with people. So it's a nice way to say, oh, I wanted to drop one of these off, and then maybe have a coffee, a cup of tea, talk for a couple of minutes, and on to the next one. Now, when I was doing my pop buys, you have to be careful if this is going to be something you're going to do on a consistent basis, not to stay at each house too long, or otherwise you'll end up there shooting the breeze for 2 or 3 hours and you won't get anywhere near as much done as you wanted to. For me, my pop buys, one of the big seasons for me was the holiday season. And I used to make a point of going around, starting around the 1st of December, and I would go and see my past clients. Some people got a wreath for the front door. Somebody maybe got a really nice ornament for their tree. Other people might have got a bottle of wine. Somebody else might have got some bottle of whiskey or cigars, or I had nice gift baskets. I had tins of cookies and boxes of chocolates. I went to the insurance companies. I went to the law offices. I went to the banks. I went everywhere. And I didn't just run in and drop it off and run out. I always had time to stop and talk to everybody that was in there. Well, pretty much the whole month of December, I was around pumping palms, talking to people, socializing. But now it wasn't cheap. You know, literally, I would spend $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, and this was years ago, on reconnecting with all of my clients. But in the process, what I found happened was January and February, I picked up 5, 6, 7 listings because of my pop buys in December. You can pop by, for instance, just before Thanksgiving, and I would drop by a really nice little pumpkin pie. And I would have it done from a really great bakery, and I'd have a card with it that says, wishing you and your family a great Thanksgiving. I wanted to drop this by. And again, we want to do these things and just do them as pop buys. What we're looking for is to connect and maintain our relationships.